All right, after a painful 2 hours trying to fix camera and audio stuff, I've got a different microphone set up, a different camera set up, both of which are worse than what I had before, so get ready. And we're going to try to fix a 6S. That is a dead 6S, and it seems to get hot near the Wi-Fi chip. So let's take a look at that. And I've been waiting for one of these to come along. We're going to see if we can actually clear the short within the Wi-Fi chip without having to replace the Wi-Fi chip, because in the 6S, just swapping a Wi-Fi chip is not possible. You have to unbind it from the NAND, and that requires some tools. So we're going to see if we can just get the short out of the Wi-Fi chip itself. So let's give that a shot. So I'm going to start with, hey, let's connect this to the DC power supply so that you guys can see what kind of led me to say, hey, I think this thing has a short internal to the Wi-Fi chip. So we'll put some freeze spray on here, and let's get a look under the microscope. All right, so we'll put some freeze spray and see what gets hot. All right, so here is our beautiful board. And let's prompt it to boot. So it's pulling 0 current on DC power supply right now. And I'm going to prompt it to boot at the power button, at least in theory. All right, and we see a little bit of current consumption. And it's moving around, and everything melted, and we didn't really get to see anything. So let me hit stop on that. Now one thing that I've seen going around is people saying, oh, I don't see anything, let me just freeze the crap out of the board again while it's under power. That's a bad idea. You don't want to put freeze spray on a board that is hot. So if you are using freeze spray as a tool, fantastic, love freeze spray. You want to spray the board while it's cool, get your answer, and then stop. You don't want to kind of let it crank there with a short somewhere and keep freezing it to snowy tundra and then heating it up to lava. That is not good. Oh no! See, I told you this camera's going to suck. I have to go back to the old Canon, which is a camera that likes to... I just went over here and tried to look at 10,000 settings on this thing and disabled everything that seemed like it was auto off. And this is going to be another failed stream. Fantastic. All right, so this is cold, and let's turn on DC power, and now it has lost all the exposure settings, and it looks all fucked up. Fantastic. 2 hours I spent troubleshooting YouTube audio and video. 2 hours! 2 hours of not getting any work done just due to complaints. And I have only succeeded in making it worse. Only succeeded in making it worse. I have a little lavalier mic thing that should work. I have it all set up, had it for a long time. I absolutely could not get this computer to recognize it, no matter what I did. 2 hours. I've got the $1,000 microphone that Lewis made me buy, and the camera that Lewis made me buy. And neither one of those are... Let's just take this off. Dink. There we go. Neither one of those actually... they're not compatible with each other. So that sucks. Thousands of dollars of YouTube equipment, and this is what you get, peeps. All right, so let's prompt this to boot, which is hard to do on the, you have to flip it upside down. So we'll try to do it. So I'm going to prompt it in the power button. There we go, and let's see what gets hot. All right, I think that was too hard to tell, so turn it off. Let's make it cold. All right, let's see. Are we cold? Or not really as cold as I'd like it to be. Get cold. Get cold. It's winter. All right. And let's see if I can get this prompted before it melts. It's easier to prompt by putting a dock on rather than trying upside down to get your tweezers at the power pin on the power connector, which is what I'm trying to do. And the power. Let me actually get a dock. Let's stick a dock on here so that it's easy to prompt this sucker. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Ray had a Wi-Fi chip short on a 6S that was run over by a car. Did you fix it? Did you fix it? Okay. Now we can use a dock to prompt it to boot so that we can watch. All right, prompt, prompt, prompt. And let's see. Where does heat first appear? Let's see. Look at that. All right, let's stop it. There we go. See that? Now we got an answer. That coil right there, that coil gets hot before anything else around there. This coil. All right, so what does that coil do? Where does it go? So if we look up on the schematic, what does this coil attach to? It goes to the Wi-Fi chip, and the other side goes back to the Wi-Fi chip. So this is just a coil that is talking to Wi-Fi, and that's pretty much it. Now, a coil itself, of course, has no path to ground. So this coil can't itself become a wire to ground. So we know the coil is not to blame. We're not going to take the coil off because that doesn't make any sense. That would just be making an open line instead of helping us solve the problem. So where's the short? So what I did first is I wanted to see what is going on inside the Wi-Fi chip. So here's a Wi-Fi chip. This is my donor board 6S, and if I just, I've never done this before. Let's just see what happens. What happens if you just start scraping it? Let's see if I can make this camera anywhere close to what I'm seeing under the microscope. Because right now it is not anywhere close to what I'm seeing under the microscope. And now it's, in fact, worse. I'm really good at making things that are not working even more broken. Working even less. Yeah, that's way, way off. All right, that's in focus for my eyes and not in focus at all for you guys. All right, mine is looking straight at the Wi-Fi chip. And this is not. Oh, everything sucks. iPad rehab sucks. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties for everybody. All right, let's see. Can we make that in focus? Can we? Nope, that's not happening. Out of the question. Well, that's quite different than what I'm seeing, but we'll go with that. All right, there. We'll go with that. All right, so the question is, what happens if you just start to scrape right through that thing? So the Wi-Fi chip itself is more like a party. It is a bunch of kids in a room with the door closed, and who knows what's going on under there. So we are going to bust down the door and say, what's going on in here? So with this is just a pair of tweezers, I'm just scratching and seeing, hey, what's in there? And then after tweezers, I did use a little bit of heat. Heat didn't really seem to make that much of a difference. But You don't want to use a lot of heat because this essentially, you can kind of think of this as if it was an underfilled chip. So this is like a giant scratch off. I wonder if I will win a short circuit. If I scratch off enough matching numbers. What's under here? Don't know. All right, so I'm doing this with my donor board just to kind of get a lay of the land and try to see what's going on under here. Looks like we got some kind of a, that looks like a crystal. And it looks like up here we've got some caps. This thing here looks like a crystal. This looks like a chip. All right. I can build a mini CNC for you, Jessa, with remote control. Well, what I'd rather you build is a working camera and microphone. A working camera and microphone that just works, that doesn't require 2 hours of reinstalling shit and reading manuals. I read the whole manual on this microphone. I got it working on some other computers, but this computer, no matter what way I tried to input it, and then I switched out the camera so that I could plug the new microphone. It's not even new, it's old. The old piece of crap microphone into the camera, because the camera that I've been using does not have any kind of microphone input. So I dug up this old camera, and this old camera has its own set of problems. It has never liked its little cable. And now it has decided, and it didn't used to do this, but it has decided to just turn itself off, whatever it feels like at every couple of minutes. So then I thought I had that solved because I found power saving mode was on. I turned that off. I turned off the setting to make it reboot itself every 10 minutes and started a stream, but that was not good enough. And my troubleshooting patience for stuff like YouTube, audio and video, is at a total 0. So we'll just listen to the complaining. One guy on the last stream, the last stream where, you know, I have no ability to fix a stream during a stream, and you might want to direct people in chat to the complaint stream. Yes, please visit iPad Rehab Sucks. The one comment on the last stream that I did where, you know, when I'm doing a stream and I see complaints about audio, I can't hear the audio. So I have no idea if it's absolutely horrendous or if it's mildly annoying. So I just have to go by what chat says. So from the number of people bitching about audio in the chat, it seemed like, okay, this is absolutely horrendous. It's unwatchable. Nobody's going to want to watch this. So it was also my anniversary, and we ended up doing the dumbest thing. You know, it's like fun to not do anything. It's like the big anniversary gift is to just stay home and kind of high five. Yeah. So we ended up watching The Love Boat from the 80s. We were watching The Love Boat and all these old 80s commercials that you could watch on YouTube. And the one that really jumped out at me was the Juicy Fruit commercial. Do you guys remember that? Juicy Fruit? Where it says, quote, "Take a sniff, pull it out. The taste is going to move you when you pop it in your mouth." What the fuck is that, Juicy Fruit? That is not an appropriate commercial, especially not for 1984. I mean, it's hilarious, all these old commercials. It was pretty fun. So I decided it would be more fun to go watch The Love Boat than to sit here and make a YouTube stream that nobody was going to ultimately watch. And so this guy comes along and has this like massive rant about how not only is it shitty that I decided to, you know, instead of just fix these boards, I thought, hey, I'll do a stream. Maybe people can learn something about just troubleshooting a whole big stack of no power boards. That was the plan for that one. So I, take the time to explain stuff and put together a stream, which slows me down. It was my anniversary. Everybody's complaining about the audio. Audio sucks. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't even hear whether or not it sucks. So I said, fine, fuck it. Then let's just not do a stream. And then this guy comes along to complain that how shitty it is that I didn't come along and delete the stream. That YouTube automatically makes any live stream, it turns into a video by itself. So there's this whole little commenty rant from him on just how shitty it is that I had bad audio, and then how shitty it is that I didn't delete that stream and that I left it on YouTube. Oh, the complaints. All right, so it looks like in this section we're getting to a giant chip. So it looks like there's a big chip here, so it's probably not worth it to continue filleting off that whole big chip. Let's get some alcohol and see if we can clean it up a little bit. All right, makes me feel old. Let's see. My iPhone 6 started overheating by the power switch. What can that be? That can be a question that you can go to iPadRehab.com and click forum. Click on over to forum and you can ask about anything you want, any kind of device, and we will come along and do the best we can to give you guidance, ask you questions to make you think, show you what we would do if it were in our hands, and help you get stuff fixed. So go check out the forum. All right, pretty cool, huh? Look at that. That is, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Wi-Fi chip. Look at that. All right, so we can see there's a lot of stuff going on. This itself is a circuit board. So when you think about things like overheating the Wi-Fi chip when you're doing your touch ICs, if you're putting heat on the Wi-Fi chip, you're heating up all of these dudes, this big chip and all of these little dudes as well. Crystal, there's all kinds of stuff going on in there. That itself is like a mini circuit board. All right, so that's what we're expecting. Let's go then and look at our board that has probably a short in here because it's getting hot on the coil. And this coil, the coil is getting hot, and the coil goes directly over here. So I just chose to start filleting up the end of the Wi-Fi chip that was closest to the coil that was getting hot. All right, so now let's get out the multimeter and see what we can find. All right, see what we can find. All right, Sniper Wolf is intent on getting his overheating iPhone 6 fixed up. We'll head on over to the forum. Your audio is perfectly fine. Oh my God. Video sucks. There's like no video. This camera, the microscope camera here is out of whack with what I'm seeing, so I'm having to work. What I can see, right, what's directly under me right now is right here. That's directly in view. But what you guys need to see is over here. So I'll try to work way off to the side. All right, so let's get a probe on ground. And in diode mode, we're going to look and just by physical inspection say, those things look like capacitors because they look like things that we know are capacitors. Like these two dudes over here. We know these are VCC main caps. They look just like that. So we're going to say, just from physical appearance and no other information to go on, we're going to make a guess and say that that's a cap. And caps, in general, should have one foot on ground and the other foot on the line. So for example, the caps here that we know should have one foot on ground and the other foot should have some resistance. So in diode mode with a red probe on ground and the black probe touching the end of the cap, I get a reading of VCC main of 0.342. That's a normal VCC main reading. So we're going to see if we can just compare between our two boards and see if we can find a problem. All right, so let's pick this cap. 1 foot is ground, that makes sense. And the other, we get a reading. And the reading is 0.342. Well, that seems like that's it's identical to VCC main. Maybe that is a VCC main cap inside the Wi-Fi chip. Makes sense. The Wi-Fi chip is powered off of VCC main. All right, let's try this one here. All right, we get a reading of 0.354 and ground, so 0.354, that makes this cap on a different line. So we don't know what it does, but that cap and this cap are on two different circuits, most likely. All right, let's try this one. Ground and ground. Ground, 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 ground. That's not good. So a capacitor that's 2 feet on ground means that that line, whatever certain mini Wi-Fi circuit that guy's on, that is now has a path to ground somewhere on the circuit. Maybe it's at that cap, maybe it's somewhere else, we don't know. All right, now let's go see if that is the same or different on the board that is their donor board. All right, so let's try the same dude. So if we kind of just overlay this, what we're looking at on the donor board is this section here. So let's get that a little bit more in focus. All right, does ZXW give the readings per pin on Wi-Fi? Didn't bother to check. Probably not, but I don't know. I doubt it. All right, so ground. Oh, great. All right, so we've lost our ability to have this board tell us anything, because now this board has a short on VCC main. So when we measure our VCC main caps on our donor board, our test board, our research board, we have a VCC main short, which I don't know if I doubt it always had that. Maybe it did. This is just a board that I kind of grabbed out of the pile. Or it could be that we caused that, maybe even right here. See how the scraping, kind of willy-nilly scraping in here has damaged a cap? Nope, not him. Maybe him. Nope, not him. All right, but let's check this dude. All right, let's check this dude. Aha! So on our board that we're trying to fix, this cap here is short. And on our donor board, this cap has a reading of 0.407 on the line side, ground, and 0.407. So that tells us it's not on VCC main, which makes sense. It's on some internal circuit to the Wi-Fi chip, and that guy is supposed to be 0.407. And on our board, it is 0.000. All right, so on our board, that guy is on a short circuit. Now we don't know what else is on that circuit with him. Maybe the short circuit is because he himself is bad, but it could equally be that somewhere else on the circuit is the problem. So let's just kind of probe around just for fun and see if we can just go in continuity mode and say who else is on that line. All right, so our ground side of the cap was this one. So let's get on the line side of the cap and let's just see who else around here is also on that circuit. All right, so we've got a little guy next to him. So because I'm getting a beep in continuity mode between the line side of my cap and that guy, that tells us that these two caps are on the same line. So now the short circuit could equally be within that cap. Anybody else? How about you? All right, this little cap is also on that line. Not him. Not him, and we've already decided that that one's on main. Not him. Not him. Not him. Or her. We don't want to judge. So we can just kind of like probe around, listening for beeps. All right, so as far as we can tell without digging up the entire Wi-Fi chip, we now have 3 candidates: Bob, Joey, and Larry. They are all on the same circuit. Okay, I went to the website. I don't know what to do. Hit subscribe, then ask a question. All right, so let's see then. I think then it might make sense for us to, since we know now that under here, hey, look at that. That whole thing is ground. Let's see. Is that true also on this one? Yep, the whole Wi-Fi chip is ground. All right, so since we know from the donor board that we've got two little caps that are also on that same line right there, we should probably put our eyes on them before we do anything else, just to see if they look, you know, burned up or something like that. All right, so let's see if it's a little easier to scrape if I put some low heat hair dryer heat on this. Thanks, Jessica, for streaming. I needed a kick in the pants to get out of bed at 2 p.m. For shame, for shame. I don't see, though, why a stream would make you get out of bed. In fact, I would think it would make you inclined to just stay in bed. Why not stay in bed? Just watch some YouTube. All right, I'm trying to get a little bit more focus for both of us so that I can see and you can see. At least a little bit. All right, that's probably the best we can do. That shitty focus. So this is the same thing I kind of felt before, which is that heat doesn't really seem to make that much of a difference. It seemed like it was just as easy to scrape without heat. So let's see what's behind door number 1 here. I'm trying to get eyes on those two caps that we know from our probing around are also on this line. All right, let's switch over to some thin tweezers. All right. Jessa Jones at IPDA Rehab. What are you talking about? The Wi-Fi IC has components under it. Has components within. Lewis, my audio is fucked up, and now I went back to the Canon camera and it just keeps turning itself off. And every time it turns itself off, it forgets all of the settings that make green screen work. And this is yet another shitty stream. Shit stream from iPad Rehab. So how about that Bitcoin Cash? That's gone nuts. Coinbase added Bitcoin Cash like a few minutes ago. And then they had some kind of little, so they added it at like $2,000 or $3,000. And then they had some kind of giant fuck up, and within seconds, that thing appeared to be trading at $8,500. That was nuts. Here's their edge of the chip. Alrighty. So Lewis, guess what? Guess what last board I just took apart. This is a first. This is the first time this has ever happened. I took a board apart that was here for data recovery. It claims to have been dropped and then water damaged. I took it apart, I put it in the ultrasonic, and the CPU fell off. CPU just fell off while in ultrasonic. That is a first. Alright, I think we better dig these out a little bit more. I'll show you guys what that board looks like. It is pretty hilarious. Alright. iPad Rehab parts stock slideshow at a midstream break. Yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that. A midstream break. Alright, we'll do another. Can we make this microscope camera, which was at least, that was probably the part of the stream that was working the best. Didn't really have a whole lot of issues with the old microscope camera, but I have managed to fuck it up. I have managed to fuck it up. Alright. Alright. Reminds me of the micro crash when Ethereum went to $10. Oh, that would make some people shit their pants. That would be... I might even shit my pants a little bit if Ethereum went to $10. All right, how could the CPU just fall off? Well, the CPU could fall off if it was really kind of just held on there by spit, which is kind of what I suspect is going on. All right, can we get that to focus? There we go. Now we're in focus. Okay. Jessa, how come you don't shill as hard as Lewis? Because he's a man, obviously. Men are aggressive. Women, women can't make their AV tech stuff work. All the stereotypes are true. All right, here, you guys can get a kick out of this. Dun da da da. Just for fun, let's take a look at this board that I pulled out of the Ultrasonic, and I'll show you what happened. I have had to tape the CPU back on. Dun dun dun. Look at that. Beautiful. Man, that fell off so cleanly. Look at that. I was not expecting that. I put it in Ultrasonic, and I take it out, and I saw the pads, and I was like, what is that? And then I had to fish out of the Ultrasonic, this beautiful CPU. The likelihood that this clean CPU actually belongs to this phone that they want data off of, I think it might be a little bit low. Missing a couple of important coils, that's not good. It looked horrible before it went through Ultrasonic. There was solder paste everywhere, but he's managed to tombstone a bunch of these PMIC caps. PMIC is all underfilled. It doesn't look like it's been replaced, and it's got a big old short. So this one is gonna get put in the, we're gonna have to chat. We're gonna have to have a little chat before we put too much time into that. And by too much time, I mean any time whatsoever. Okay, I just got done posting an intro group earlier that somebody was saying, oh, what about sending this one to Jessa? And it was kind of described like that. Someone was there before. I think you might be right on that. All right, so now let's have you guys pick. Which one out of these three caps do you think is most likely the actual cause of the short circuit? So let's stare at them really well. Let's even get some alcohol out. And I'm going to count on you guys not to let me down. And on the first try, tell me, pick out for me, which cap is actually the reason why this Wi-Fi chip has a short. Why? Which one is it? Is it the big one? A. Now I can't tell if those, it does seem like there's a little bit of marks there. I can't tell if that is crack or dark marks or not. B, little guy, his brother, the foot of the bed, B, or C, the other little guy. Which one do you think it is? A, B, or C? Support the stream by buying Jessa's certified desoldering braid. Fuck you. You're not allowed to fucking shill your fucking store on my channel. You banned me from your channel for that. Fuck that. Alright. I think it's the first one, says Sniper Wolf. Alright. A vote for C. Well, come on now. Don't let me down. You guys have to agree. Or any other votes? The little one in the corner. Hey, that was B, by the foot of the bed. So we got a vote for A, a vote for B, a vote for C, and a vote for D, which doesn't exist. Another vote for A. All right. Wiggle the microscope camera. If you believe, I have no idea what kind of wick is the best wick. I have no idea. I sure can't trust a guy that sells $2 stencils though to tell me. If I had a trustworthy guy that I could absolutely trust because he vetted his products, then I would believe whatever he told me was the best wick. But as it is, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't use that stuff. All right. It's the far left, second from the top. So you guys think it's this little one? I don't know, guys. I'm going to go with the big one. I feel like it's the big one on the basis of the fact that if you were to drop a light bulb and the light bulb was big versus dropping like a little light bulb like a Christmas tree light, I think a big light bulb would be more likely to break, to have the filament break, just more fragile, in my opinion. Could be totally wrong. So I am going to go with the big one. Same as what a couple of you guys picked, so we'll see whether or not you're right. All right, so I'm going to stick the board into the beautiful Find Fix board holder available at iPad Rehab Supply. Lewis, guess what? Guess what Scriptable gave me today? They showed me a link to the new iPad Rehab website coming soon. Very exciting. We're going to be all grown up. We're going to finally have something working, unlike this stream. We are going to have a working website. All right, how are we going to get this thing out? I have no idea. All right, let's see. Can I use an analog tester for diode mode? Well, if it has diode mode, go ahead. All right. It's not one of the ones. No, it's none of the ones you asked us to choose. It's the far left one with cracks. Which one has cracks? I don't see any cracks. Far left one. Let's see. Far left one with cracks. What far left one? I don't know. All right. Let's see. Cracks on that cap. Maybe it's just scratches. Which cap? Which cap has we know, remember guys, we know for sure this one is not short. The only ones that are on a shorted line are A, B, and C. So we're not going to take anything off that's not on the shorted line. All right. Okay. Yo mama has cracks. Far left, second from top. All right, all you guys are picking this little dude, but I'm gonna go with my giant light bulb theory, and we'll see if that holds true or not. All right, so my plan, never done this before, is gonna be, let's see if I can excavate down to the point where I can use the 6 o'clock or 5:30 method to knock this sucker off the board. All right, so that chip is right there. So this border is shared with the chip, and I really don't want to bother the chip. Don't want to bother the chip. So this stuff is pretty much like underfill. I have no idea what it's made out of. We're going to dig it out. Now these are my green Dumont tweezers, which are the finest tweezers that are strong enough to do this kind of stuff. So I really like them for this purpose, but they're really kind of tight. Getting into this little area. All right, at least in theory, this is the easy side. We're going to dig it out gently, gently. Just like the US voting system. Yeah, so we're going to go with the electoral college kind of voting, where I am like New York. So I get, 20 or 30 votes. And you guys are more like Delaware. So your votes are important, but you guys are Delaware. What does Delaware have? Like one or two electoral college votes? Yeah, we're going to go with the electoral college, the American way. That's how we do things. Man, these little caps would be sure easy to take off I wish I wasn't so married to my big idea of this being a giant light bulb is more likely to crack. And that's just, that giant light bulb theory comes from the fact that, for example, in the iPhone 6 backlight circuit, you never, ever, ever see the little cap never goes bad, ever. The big ones go bad all the time. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. All right, it's better to be Delaware than Puerto Rico, I guess. Yeah, what does Puerto Rico get, like 3/5 vote? Yeah, you guys are Delaware, you're not Puerto Rico. Get some props. If they only made knives to scrape away the underfill. Yeah, if only I wasn't too lazy to see if I had a sharper... This is my scalpel. Way too thick. One thing that I've tried before is a lancet, like a... You know, I went to the pharmacy to get diabetic lancets. I thought that would be kind of cool for this job. And they're all right, but I just really like the green tweezer. He's starting to let me down though on this one. All right. She made mention of that. What? Be careful of the little chip next to the Wi-Fi IC. If you damage it, no more data. Well, this isn't here for data. This is this is in the Mexican pile, which is the giant pile of boards I'm fixing for 20 bucks. Like an idiot. So if this board doesn't work, who cares? Not me. All these boards, man, I'll tell you what's really frustrating is to not be doing data recovery. Times are tough. You gotta make a buck any way you can. So we're fixing all these boards, and you'll do something like really amazingly elegant, like, you know, solve 2 or 3 problems and figure out something really, you know, that was hard that, you know, most people would miss. And then the board boots up, and only then do you notice that it has a fake home button. Like somebody replaced the screen and they didn't bother to transfer over the home button, or they lost the original home button. So the thing's not going to have fingerprint sensor, which ordinarily, you know, who cares? Go to the Apple Store. If it's your phone, go to the Apple Store. If you care about it, if you even want fingerprint sensor, you can go to the Apple Store and for 129 bucks, get yourself a brand new fingerprint sensor, and it comes with a brand new LCD. But these guys couldn't care less. When they're trying to get these boards fixed for 20 bucks, they are not going to have the slightest interest in paying $100 for a screen. All right, so we might have to sacrifice this other cap as well. All right, I think it is time for me to actually have to go get a fresh blade here. These blades are pretty janky. Yep, I'm gonna have to go dig up a fresh blade. You doing these for scout badges? Yeah, I'm gonna get my eagle badge, or eagle. I'm gonna be an Eagle Scout for fixing boards. Who has an X-Acto knife that I can steal? How about Mark Schaefer? Oh, it is great when Mark is not around, but leaves all the stuff out. I can just go steal it. Mark's area is a mess. He is the opposite of Paul, who's working for Lewis, who is exceptionally neat. All right. Time for a new gizzard. That's what I call blades. A gizzard? I call a scalpel blade a gizzard. You would want to be in a surgery where they're cutting into your brain and the surgeon is saying, "Nurse, gizzard, more gizzard. Nurse, I need a fresh gizzard or he's gonna bleed out." I don't know. Seems a little weird. All right, Wi-Fi cap short, or CPU brain hole drill, or clusterfuck PMIC removal. Sure. You do things the Russian way. Or do the Russians do things my way? Ever thought about that? Oh yeah, baby. That is so thin and small. Just like all the ladies like it. All right, I'm actually going to try to excavate a little bit more. Gizzard is intestines here. Gizzard is a bird organ that chops up stones. Birds have gizzards. In fact, you gotta make, birds actually have to eat stones in order to have healthy gizzards. I guess the gizzards are filled with stones so that they can eat things like sticks and other delicious bird things. I can remember when we first got chickens that you had to get essentially this little bag of gravel to feed to your little baby chicks for their gizzard health, so that your chickens could have healthy gizzards. Oh, look at that. Let's see if you guys can see this. I think I see green. Look close. What do you think? Am I crazy? Look at that. Does that look like kind of green? Maybe it's just from my tweezers, the green paint. Possibly. But I don't know. I'm tempted to try to get this cap out of here with heat. Oh no, that green is probably going to be the paint on top of the chip down below. That's my guess. That's probably what that is. Whatever little circuit board this thing's sitting on is probably has some green conformal coating on it. Tonight on iPad Rehab, chicken gizzards and shorted caps and juicy fruit. All right, let's see. Let's turn that off and see if it is remotely possible to get this thing off of here. I'm going to try this other cap removal blade. Alright. I thought it was called a gizzard too. What? They need grit. Yes, grit. That's what chicks need. They need grit for their gizzards. For gizzard health. They need to have grit, which is you could probably get for cheaper at the aquarium store. It is the same stuff that is in aquariums. All right, how are we going to get this cap out of here without total destruction? We got a chip. We got a chip on this side. We got a bunch of other dudes that that are not short, that we don't want to make short. So how are we going to get this out? Can we dig it out in any way? Maybe we could drill it out. Well, I definitely don't want to jack up my tweezers. All right, let's see. Also, the camera is off. Yes. Jessa, do you raise chickens? No. I raise chicken. There is one surviving chicken from the 30 chickens that we ordered in the spring. One has survived the hard life here in Rochester. One surviving chicken. So I raise chicken. And actually, we've pretty much given up on him. And he is free to come and go as he pleases. All right, let's see if we can put a little heat on this sucker and get anything going. Come on, bro. Why don't you, like, twist yourself out here? Help me out. I would like for something to be easy and work. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, yeah. We got motion in the ocean. All right. You're a little bastard, aren't you? There, now you should be free. Come on up. Am I gonna have to help you out of there? Help you out of your hole? Fine, I will. You don't want to get hot anymore that you're messed up on the end. Wow, you're a skinny little sucker. All right. Look at him. He is a lot thinner than I thought he was going to be. He looks like a little chiclet. I didn't know he was going to be chiclet sized. All right. Was it him? My little light bulb, my giant light bulb hypothesis kind of goes out the window since he looks like a chiclet. All right. Louis Rossman, are you in a persistent drunken holiday stupor now until New Year? I haven't seen Louis drink in a long time. Actually, that's not true. He was drinking on Good Morning America. Never mind. Take it back. I haven't seen Louis get shit-faced in a long time. All right. Should we ask if this cap is a wire, or should we just check to see if the short's gone? All right, let's see. Those tweezers are super jankified. Yes. Use hot air. Fuck that. Not trying to kill this whole chip. There's a chip right next to it, surrounded by underfill. Hot air is a definite don't. All right. Are you a wire? Oh no. Fucker. All right. Maybe he was just too destroyed to tell us that he was a wire. All right. Do we still have a short? Survey says one side is ground and the other side is... Fuck. All right. You guys were right. It wasn't him. Falsely accused. The good news is that the next guy's easier. All right, so this is the one you guys picked. The little dude? You picked the little dude that was at the foot of the bed? Pretty sure. All right. Let's see. Isn't the Wi-Fi casing metal conductive? Yes, it is. We just established that earlier. But not inside there, it's a circuit. All right. Let's see. That's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much. All right. Stream said it was going to be you. Stream said, and Stream is never wrong. They've never been wrong yet. All right, let's see. See if you guys are right. All right. So you think he's going to be the wire? All right. See if it's Stream for the win. Oh! Way to go, Stream. He is a wire. That asshole. All right. I should have listened to you guys. Look at that. I should have... That is why the Electoral College sucks. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is why we should disband the Electoral College. Delaware wins. Delaware had the right idea. Nobody was listening to Delaware just because they're kind of small and far away. And there you go. All right, now let's see if we still have a short or not. All right, let's see. Wi-Fi IC lid could have been shorting it. Oh, the cap that I just put on there? Yeah, that's true. But the other one wasn't short, so we'll see. All right. Aw. Fuck you. The Electoral College survives. Wi-Fi lid, which itself... I didn't really think I was touching it, but I guess I was pressing down on it. All right. So we still have a problem. All right, so we're going to take out the other cap that we know is on that line. All right, let's see if we can... I'm going to look back on the donor board and see what's under that corner. Another cap is under that corner. Let's see if it's easy to burn this stuff off. Let's see. It's kind of fun. There's the other cap. Let's check to see if that cap is on our line or not. Right now we can see that third little cap, and let's check to see if he is on our line or not. Alright, so we will stick probe here on ground. Get rid of some fuzz on there. Let's see. Could it be possible this line is a low resistance to ground line like PP, CPU, or GPU? Yes, it sure could, which is why it was important to measure it on the good board. And we saw that on the other board, it measured 0.4 something in diode mode. So 0.4 is significant. And so a difference from 0.4 to 0 is a short to ground. And we have no idea what's on this line. We just found 3 caps were on the line. We found that by measuring around in continuity mode on the good board. And we found these 3. All right, let's see. Never saw a schematic where one side is a wire and the other side is fuck. That's what all schematics are like. One side is a wire, and then where your problem is fuck. God damn it. All right, let's see. Is this beautiful, undamaged looking cap possibly the cause of our short to ground? I'm going to go with no, and that it's going to be in a chip somewhere. We'll see what the Electoral College thinks. All right, where can we measure this? It's not going to make it just beep to ground. Down here. All right, let's ask. Are you a wire? All right. Okay, are you a wire? He says, nope. He says, no, I am not a wire. Thanks for asking. Thanks for digging me out of my home for no reason. So that means we still have a short. And let's see. So we still have a short, and we don't have any idea. Now we don't have any idea what else is on that line because we haven't really excavated it that much. So let's go back to our donor board. So I wonder if where this line goes, whether or not it's some kind of a power line for the Wi-Fi chip itself. But I'm very worried that it goes under that little square dude. So I'm going to check. I'm going to take off on the donor board. I'm going to take off this little square, looks like a little LDO chip, and see. Let's see if we can take him off in a way that doesn't destroy the world. Let's get rid of that guy. And let's get rid of some stuff on the other side here. I wonder what it is about, you don't really see this happening in the 6. Wi-Fi short is a disease of the 6S. And usually in my, in my experience, a drop that causes a short is going to be a bad cap. Because they are like light bulbs, and they don't like to be dropped. They're kind of like little tiny baby jawbreakers that are filled with ground and the line, and they don't like to be dropped. It just smudges the layers together and causes them to turn into a wire. This is a lot harder since this one's not in the board holder. Alright, so in case it's important, we'll remember where our dot is. Alright, let's see if we can crank up the heat and get that chip off. And our goal is to see whether or not that chip has pads under it that are on our shorted line. How much do you charge for the Wi-Fi IC repair on a 6S? I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it's a feasible repair or not. To be determined. We're probably not going to stick with the 20 bucks. Ah, I just fucked up. Wow, look at the chip is bleeding. Everybody suddenly got hot. Alright, come off, you asshole. Okay. So let's clean that up, and we are going to find out. What's your thoughts on using the iPhone 10? I can't stand that phone, and I really want to take it back. I just hate it. I hate everything about it. First thing I hate is that it does not easily fit my little handle, the little sticker, the love handle that I absolutely depend on and think is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So it's similar to a pop socket, but I can't use a phone without it, and it will not stick to the glass. So that means I have to put it in a case, which I hate cases. I don't want to have to put it in a case. Boo on that. So that's strike number 1. Strike number 2, Face ID quit working, so I just had to turn that off. Number 3, so what's the point of having it if it doesn't have Face ID? 3, the top corner of the screen is really difficult to hit the little X in order to tell Facebook Messenger that I already answered something. And I just don't like the navigation. It's hard. You don't, you have to do all of these, intuitive gesturing things. I'd rather just have a clicky home button where I know for sure if I double clicked, click, whether or not it clicked or not. All right, let's see first if we have now created a bunch of shorts. So is this line now just short to ground? Okay, it's not short to ground. Yay! So that means we still have a chance to figure out what's on the line, because the line is not just all going to be ground. All right, so question. Under that little LDO looking chip, little voltage regulatory guy, under there, were any of the pads on our line? No, 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 and no. All right. All right, so none of that is on our line. We already know those two dudes were on our line. So we need to find out who else is on our line. What are some other good candidates here? Anybody else that we can see? All right, no. So I wonder, and we could look at the schematic, but we could say, what about dudes that are not directly in the Wi-Fi chip? Are you a match to anything else out here on the main board? I'm gonna go to continuity mode instead of diode mode. All right. You can live without an appendix or hair. You can't live without an esophagus or brain. What are you talking about? What is going on? Lewis is posting links. What the heck is this? Tell me this is a $20 board. It's a $20 board. I'll even show you the little ticket. Of course it's a $20 board. What's the difference between an important cap and a cap you can live without on the board? An important cap is a cap in a data line. Oh, I just finished explaining that to a mechanical engineering student who came here for data recovery, which was pretty fun to do. What I told him is, you know, he had to lose a couple of caps on his phone that we did not put back. And he was saying, what do you think is going to be the consequence of that? And I told him that if you have a circuit where if you mapped it out on an oscilloscope, you saw a bunch of ones and zeros, it would be really, really important that those ones and zeros were very clean. 1 and 0. That it wasn't all messy and fuzzy and had a lot of noise and up and down in that circuit. But if these caps were on a data line, then having... What are you doing? Why are you putting Dora on that? What does Dora have to do with it? Why are you even aware of it? Turn that off.
What the fuck?
What? Yeah, exactly. What the F?
What the fuck?
How about you come up here and fix my camera instead of play Dora videos? Did you put that in my stream? Now I can't see chat either. All right, so I'm just probing around to see if anything else is on that line that we could kind of know what it is. Anything out here? Anybody? Bueller? Dora? Swiper? Anybody? Nope. All right. Oh. Did I get a beep? I totally got a beep. Was it this? I got a beep. I'm gonna find that beep somewhere. Where are you, beep? I'm gonna find this line. Let's see if I can get a little less flux. Let's find a different spot. All right, I'm going to stick the one probe in here. Make sure that that beeps to here and not ground. All right. All right, so I think it's just giving me kind of a half beep, which is like low resistance. Let's just measure in ohms. So I was in continuity mode. Let's see. That's 16 kilo ohms to this dude. 3.6 kilo ohms to that. 5 kilo ohms to that. All right, so none of this I think is all that super helpful. All right, let's clear out Dora and all of this stuff so that we can see some chat again. All right, there we go. So basically a cap on ground is not important. No. $20 boards, all this work for $20. Such a complaining thing. This stream will be demonetized by Google for sure. Louis Rossman can't pay for a $4,500 website with $20 board jobs. Jessa has to pay $7,000 for a website, so I don't want to hear about that. Besides, Louis got his money back from his website. All right. So no more distracting me. I got to keep on the clock in order to finish my $20 board job. All right, so something around here is close, but none of it is actually on the line. Okay, so let's, so we don't really have anything else to go on. Let's see if we can use heat. So this would be a great time to say, all right, we gave it a shot using our brain and multimeter. Let's see if we can use some heat to show us, is there something that is getting hot more specifically right in this area now that we've cleared it out a little bit. All right, I miss the days of smooth brains. I forgot about smooth brains. Smooth Brain did the CPU job on the Data Recovery 7 Plus, that's for sure. All right, Louis is getting evicted though. He's not getting evicted until we're all gonna be done with this job anyway. Louis's eviction is fake news. Besides, what's most likely to happen for Louis's quote eviction is that Louis gets bought out, goes to a even cheaper place, has a shit ton of money in some big fat check that then he uses to invest in penny stocks. That's what I predict is going to be the sad story of Louis's quote eviction. So we're perpetuating the gender pay gap stereotype with a $20 board job? Yeah, man. We got, it's winter, it's December, nobody wants to fix anything. Q is down, so we got to make some scratch. We got 7 people on the team. 7 people, 7 families. There are 14 kids that are iPad rehab kids. That's not true. Is it 14? 4 Burdette kids. 4, Sunday has 3 kids, that's 7. Christy has 2 kids, that is 9. Jean has 2 kids, that's 10, 11. Christine has 3 kids, that's 14. Mark has 3 kids, that's 17. 17 kids, 17 iPad rehab kids. That's a lot. All right, which side was the line side? I think it was this side here. 17 kids that all need to have Christmas presents. And nobody sends us stuff anymore, so we gotta do $20 board jobs. What are you gonna do? All right. There are no Rossman group children. Yeah, exactly. You guys have such, it's the kind of equivalent of first world problems. It's childless people problems. Things like, should we get gym equipment at the shop? That kind of stuff. All right. This is why we can't afford to sell Quicks for $9 cheaper. Ha ha ha. All right. Let's get this on here. Actually, that wasn't, this was the line side. Yeah, I mean, it's really funny, Louis. I did a 3-hour stream doing trace repair on an effing home button. I have in front of me a job where a CPU fell off the board. Now I am trying to find a short within a Wi-Fi chip. It is a sad, sad state. Poor little 17 iPad rehab kids. Poor little refugee children. Gonna get coal for Christmas. Burned up boards. That's all we're gonna have to give them. The poor little children of iPad rehab. All right. Paul Daniels is trying to avoid having kids. Well, having 2 kids is great. That's having more than 2 kids. I mean, it's really difficult to decide which kid you'd want to trade in. That's impossible, but man, they're a lot of work. Just like going sledding. And we went sledding the other day, and you know, I took the kids sledding by myself, and just the work of let's all go sledding. That means we need to come up right now with 4 + 1, 5 matching gloves that fit, and 5 pairs of snow boots, and 5 snowsuits, blah, 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 blah. And there's just zero chance that this is going to work out without somebody getting really super cold or hurt or whatever. It actually worked out great, which was a pretty big miracle. It actually was pretty fun. Makes you forget the pain in the ass of having to find all that stuff. All right, we are going to inject some current. Too bad that there's no ability to see very much on this stream today. All right, here you go. iPad Rehab needs to do some $20 board repairs so that we can buy a reasonable camera and reasonable microphone and not have to go through all this to stream for you guys. All right. Something that works. All right. It feels odd after people had kids for hundreds of millions of years through miserable circumstances just to continue the species for me to decide here's where it ends. It feels selfish. All right. Okay, so let's freeze spray this sucker. Let's freeze spray this sucker and see where on the beautiful Wi-Fi chip, the circuit board within a circuit board. All right, we're gonna inject a random voltage and hope that it's not too much. But if it is, who cares? It's a $20 board. It's a great learning board. Ready? Let's touch this to ground. Okay, so it says that it gets hot right there. All right, let's see if we can really pinpoint exactly where. Tell us within a nanometer where is the hottest hotspot of them all. All right, help me see it, guys. Ready? And action. All right, so it kind of radiates out from this edge. Okay, so hopefully that entire piece isn't just the chip, but it probably is. All right, let's swap back to the donor board, and at this point, let's start speeding up because that chip may not be something that we can replace easily. Because $20 is not really going to do a whole lot of... I'm not sure I'm up for trying to harvest and reball a chip off of a Wi-Fi board. And it looks like It looks like this board, or this chip, is the only thing there. But let's find out. Let's see. Let's scrape away. And find out who lives under here. Let's see. Rich, intelligent people like Jessa that will produce children? What are you talking about? Are you saying that the 17 children of iPad Rehab are going to rule the world? Are they going to be the ones that finally disband the Electoral College? Alright, let's see. Power meter on the floor. Where's the hottest spot of them all? Why, it's the center of this chip. See how it looks like it's going to say Broadcom? It would be hilarious if this was like, oh look, it's Cumulus. We got tons of them. Slap one right in there. It'd be great. The sad thing is that part of me will be tempted to try to reball this chip off of this board, but I must say no. So I gotta wrap Christmas presents tomorrow. I gotta wrap Christmas presents for 4 kids. That's a lot of work. It's enough work to make it kind of like not fun and actually work. It's not looking good over here. Oh, look at that! There's a little cap. Ha! Great news. We've got a potential dude. Show yourself, dude. It's a great day. A little random cap just sitting there. Could you be? Won't you be? Please won't you be on my line? Won't you please? Please won't you be? Please won't you be on my line that's short? God damn it. He flew away. Alright, let's see. Was that cap that formerly and so briefly lived there? No. Exam's presents wrapping here, says Greg. Just give them money. Nope. Alright. Did someone say Cumulus? No, no one did, but I did see on the forum how someone typed in the phrase, "Oh my god, I'm such an idiot." I liked how they wrote specifically, "Oh my god, I'm such an idiot," when I saw that Lewis made my forum link to a picture of himself when someone types in the word God. But I liked how it said, "Oh my god, I'm such an idiot." Link, Lewis Rossman. Alright, so far, that side, that dude is not on our shorted line. Or is he? Oh yeah, here we go. Maybe he is. Yay! Alright, so we've got one probe. Alright, I have to make this camera be in the same orientation. It's driving me crazy. There we go. There we go. There, now we can kind of look at things the same way. Alright, so here is a little hidden Easter egg of a cap that we just found living deep in the woods under the snow of the top of the Wi-Fi chip. Alright, and if we ask, hey, are you on our line? He is. And are you ground? Are you ground? He says no. Are you our line? He says yes. And is your other side ground? Yes, it is. Awesome! So now, that little dude, he could be our short, and he is coming from the area that's getting really hot. All right, let's try to dig him up on our good board. All right, so let's find him. So if we look at this chip, and we follow in between the Y and the G, between the Y and the G. What thread was this, Jessa? On my forum, it was one where... why is it that he thought he was an idiot? I think it was one of the iPad Air ones. There's not that many on there. Just it's one of the iPad Air ones. Okay, so we're gonna search from the Y to the G, go up here, and see if we can dig that out on our $20 board. $20 board repair board. All right. Next thing you know, we'll be doing iCloud unlocks and all kinds of smarmy biz. Lewis, are you gonna read my 20-page paper if I send it to you? I didn't send it to you just because I knew you wouldn't read it, but I wanna see if you will admit that there's no way that you'll read it. But every now and then you surprise me, so who knows? Lewis Rossman, will you read my 20-page paper if I send it to you? No. First two sentences, last two sentences. No! That's why I didn't send it to you. All right, so if we go north of here, somewhere around there is going to be our potentially shorted cap, but probably just yet another troll. All right, let's see. Get that out of here. This did seem to be where the heat was really emanating from. Come on, boys and girls. Can we get lucky? Is it possible that this could still be a cap and not this big-ass chip? Found stuff in my nose after an archaeological dig. Your thesis is on Wi-Fi shorts. No. My actual thesis is on the molecular genetics of pancreatic cancer, specifically. Yeah, as far as I can recall, which I did write my PhD dissertation in like a 30-hour marathon, where all I remember is sitting in a chair, writing. And I remember, getting there really early in the morning, and then I can remember it getting to be the end of the day, and I remember that most people left. And then I can remember it getting late, and all the cleaning people came through. I was still writing. And then I remember thinking, like, I really need to go to bed. But I just kept writing. And then the sun started coming up, and then people started coming back to work for the next day. And I stayed there all that day, too, and just kept writing. Until it got to be about 3 o'clock in the morning that night, and I finally had to take a break. But it was almost done by then. It's really funny. I can, like, of all the things about like a thesis, what I remember is the conversations that the custodial staff were having around me as I was sitting there in the middle of the night by myself trying to write. Some lady, and she just kept saying, I'm on trash. And then she was kind of getting into some story with the other cleaning dude. And I remember her just going, dash right. She must have said dash right 450 times with all these different tones and inflections, so it meant all kinds of different things. Thought that was remarkably interesting. Where's my little cap? Show yourself, bro. You're supposed to be right around here. Where are you at? Where are you at? Can't find that thread. Time to ask a question. Your paper was foreshadowing your future profession. Man, at the time, there were no iPhones. Alright, where is that little cap? He's supposed to be totally right there, and he's not. Man! Show yourself, bro. You gotta be here. Come on, you're our only hope to be short. Without it being the chip. You gotta be here, bro. Oh, yay. Is that you? There you go. There he is. Cute, cute, cutie. Dash right. I knew there was going to be a cap there. All right. Is it you? It was an iPhone 6 thread. Really? An iPhone 6 thread? There. Well, don't you feel good? You learned a little something about iPad Airs. What was it about? I don't remember. iPhone 6. I really have no recollection of that at all. Alright. But I do remember the specific conversation that the custodial staff was having when I was writing my thesis in 2001 or something. Alright, so that dude's on our shorted line. Are you? Why? This whole line is short to ground. Let's find out. Let's find out. We're just gonna pluck you right on off. You seem skinny and tiny, and you should be easy to flick off. Get out. There you go. Sayonara. Alright. Why is there a cap inside of a chip? To troll people. Why else? It is a chip with a cap inside of it. Bunch of caps. Alright, do we still have a short? Alright, one side is ground. The other side. Are you still short? It's the moment of truth. Survey says, God damn it, fuck. Survey says, God damn it, fuck. Such a beautiful premise. Oh wait, is it short there? Yeah, it is. It is still short. Alright, let's see if the heat still comes from there. Actually, before doing that, let's just see if there are other caps that are also like that. Little hidden Easter eggy caps. Such a beautiful premise, but it was not meant to be. It was not meant to be. All right. I have to review the imager tomorrow, says Lewis. Oh, I've got a phone here you could do. Oh, look, we're at the edge of this chip. That's good. That means there's going to be a whole lot of stuff over here. Alright, so that cap wasn't the only dude. I thought that this chip, this cumulus-looking chip... Well, that's too bright. How do we dim that down? Let's do this. There we go. And focus that up. That is a shiny chip. There. See how that chip... We're at the edge of that chip. It doesn't go all the way over to the... It doesn't go all the way over. So now we have a lot more... Lots of great possibilities over here. And it's time to get to scraping. Alright. I almost forgot about that. Another company hates me, says Lewis. Lewis has got all kinds of companies that hate him. Whenever I say something like, well, why don't you do this? And he's like, oh, because they banned me. Oh, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. A whole lot of that going on. Alright, now we got lots of possibilities. We got another whole city. This is like an archaeologic dig. We got a whole city coming up. Maybe we'll find a $20 bill buried in here. And then we don't have to fix this board at all. Alright, let's get to the red tweezers. I hope I don't have another gallbladder episode. The late night streams. That's what does it. Look at this whole city. It's the beautiful city of Wi-Fi. Here's the capital of Wi-Fi, Broadcom. And we're out here in the farmlands. Looks like a little parking lot in the city of Wi-Fi. Everybody drives a little square car. We've got the city of Wi-Fi library and post office coming into view here. Waste management. Look at all this cool stuff in the city of Wi-Fi. You know, it's really funny about Christmas and having to buy presents for 4 kids, for 17 iPad rehab kids, that if you said, hey, why don't you come to work and why don't you see what's inside a Wi-Fi chip? That would be way more fun than here's a $50 thing of Legos. Toys are just a ridiculousness. It was really funny though. I let Betsy open a Christmas present, mostly because their list was full of stupid stuff. You know, they're 7 years old, and the list was full of things like a fire hydrant dog toy for $3 because she thought that it would be fun to like pretend they were dogs. Okay, so she got ready and got up when I had to take the first kid that missed the bus today. I had to run out to the middle school. So I told the girls, when I get back, I want you to be dressed and ready to go to school because I don't want you to miss your bus. So I left, came back. I knew they would be sound asleep in bed. But Betsy was not. She was standing at the door with her little backpack on, with her little snack packed. She'd found her gloves, she had her boots on, and I was super proud of her. So I told her that she could open a Christmas present. So we go over to the Christmas tree to see which Christmas present should she open. And then I see that there's one that is to Maisie from Betsy that she's put there. And I haven't seen it before. So I pick it up. What is this thing? And I notice that it is wet. It is wrapped in wrapping paper, but it is clearly a giant, like, baggy, wrapped in wrapping paper. And I ask her, is there something wet in here? And she says, yeah. So I kind of take her over to the side. What is it? I made Maisie a snow globe. So she got a saran wrap baggie, filled it up with toilet water probably, and then threw a bunch of shit in it and called it a snow globe, which I thought was super creative. But I had to put the kibosh on the snow globe hanging out under the tree present. All right. Now we've got some more candidates here. All right. Christmas is a roast. We spend money to trade, in effect, back gifts that we don't even want. Well, it was really funny. Today, I got a gift from the local kid who we saved his data. He gave me a Tim Hortons gift card. And it is pretty funny because also today I went and got, not Tim Hortons, close enough, Dunkin' Donuts gift cards to give to all of the mail carriers around here. Which also led to a fun iPad rehab holiday game called Name That Mail Person, which was really funny because we wanted to put their names on it. So I was like, all right, who is like Happy Mustache Guy from FedEx? And Sunday's like, I'm pretty sure that is Rick. Well, it wasn't Rick, it was Scott, which we now know. And there is a guy, Pedro, which really trolled us because one of the UPS guys said, yeah, the other guy I work with is Pedro. We didn't expect Pedro to be the black guy. So we got trolled. Melissa was easy to remember. All right, so we have a lot of different things that are all on this line. Okay, so now we got to dig out that on dig this out on this board. Our clue is that heat is coming from this area around here. Actually, let's inject again and see if we can dig right where the spot is. All right. Rick and Morty. 6S shorted versus Jessa. Who will win? Oh, the 6S. It'll get too late and then I'll be like, fuck this. Fuck this $20 piece of shit. How can we have fun with it? All right, let's see. I will turn on the power supply and see if we've got this hooked up to be a short. We do. All right, let's see if something is ready to tell us to reveal themselves with heat. Are ya? Well, are ya, punk? All right, let's see if we can see exactly where is it hot. Nope, I missed it. So every time I spray the board, I'm manually controlling whether or not it's short by touching ground. So I'm going to touch ground. Right there. All right. See, that says right there. Can you guys see that? It says that it is right there in that circle. In fact, let's draw that little circle. It is supposed to be right here. That's where it's hot. Right where the cap was that was supposed to be it, but was an asshole and wasn't him. And there's like one little cap above it. Otherwise, it's the chip there. All right, so let's go on a hunt in here. Try to find this asshole. Scrape off all the copper from... The copper layer is going to make it difficult. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Why is the copper going to make it difficult? Because of seeing the heat? I think it's pretty clearly hot right here. I mean, I'm injecting over there. This is where it's getting hot. Seems pretty clear. It doesn't mean that's where the short is, but this is definitely where it's getting hot. Alright, there's the edge of the chip. And we should be about to find another cap right here. Would you want to have a phone with a Wi-Fi chip that looks like a city that has been subjected to some kind of civil unrest? That's what's tough about these. They're not data recovery. They're be a phone again, which sucks. Alright, let's see if it's that little asshole. Ooh, we dig in Wi-Fi. What's left of it? Yeah, here we are. Well, let's wake up the multimeter. Alright, are you short? Great. Then get off my board, you asshole. No shorts on my board. That's gonna bother that chip. You're skinny enough to get him off. Bonk. Are you still short? Are ya? Yep, of course he is. Of course he is. I wonder if that's still the area that's getting hot. Alright, let's keep going. Camera is horribly out of alignment. Wonder if the adapter has drifted. Oh yeah, it's way out of alignment. Yeah, you guys are looking up here. It's not terribly out of alignment. What's in the center for me is down here. But that up there is still kind of in range. Alright, let's see. Jess, is it possible to pull that chip off the same way you might do NAND or PMIC? Is there a way to replace it with a new one? Well, you could, sure, you could take the chip off. You could replace it with a new one if you knew what it was. And if it, you know, the whole, none of that really makes a whole lot of sense when you can replace this whole chip here. You can replace, you can go order a 6S Wi-Fi chip right now. The reason to do this kind of work is a lot of these are a shorted cap. I have not done one, so I don't really know my way around here. This is the first time I'm ever looking at this city. But if you've done a bunch of these, you would know, oh yeah, it's this cap right here on the end is 90% of the time. That's the guy that goes bad. But you have to, like any other signature problem that you haven't seen before, you got to figure it out with one like long laborious thing the first time you ever do it. I think it's more likely to be a little component than that big chip. But what do I know? You could, in theory, we could, if it was this big chip, we could take it off of one of these, the donor board, reball it, if we could find a stencil that fit the pitch of the balls, and throw it on here. Try to work up where you guys can see. There's a bunch of little dudes over here. That is getting hot on my hand. Stalk her, it's even better. We're gonna take this whole city apart until we find the short. We're gonna figure out. We're gonna find the asshole on this board. We're gonna go to every house. Until we find it. This is why everybody likes shorts as a general class of problem. You know, somebody's a wire to ground. It has to be one of these guys, so we'll find it eventually. It's just how much of a rebuild do you feel like doing? The benefit, I think, on going on these kinds of hunts, you know, this is sort of hobby repair. This is just for the sake of fixing. Is that eventually you figure things out, like, oh yeah, it goes wrong all the time, and then the next time you see one, you'll look there first. I've probably caused a bunch more shorts with my impatient tweezers. That's still in your guys' view. It's way up at the very, very top of my view. We're gonna go with it. These guys are gonna be like, what happened here, when they get this board back? What has been going on? Are you sure you guys know what you're doing? All right. Those shiny chips are tearing up my brightness. Did you already check, ZXW, which location of the Wi-Fi chip the coil is connected to? I did. You know, one of the pads, I forget. I think it was at the corner that I started at. It was at the corner that I started at. How hot is your hot air? Hot enough and not too hot. It's in the 200s. We don't want to really put heat on this, because you can't put heat on these chips. Can't stick heat on that sucker, you're going to squeeze solder balls out. They don't have any room to go anywhere. Alright, so my patience meter says it's time to find this short in a, you know, now rather than like, hey, let's fix this. Now I feel like, hey, let's just find the short. Alright, so just for fun, let's, now that we've kind of cleared out that area, let's see, this one I think I have probably damaged beyond what's reasonable. Probably be both of those. Unless they were cracked already, and that was why we had a short. But let's just see where the heat is coming from now that we have like a little party to look at here. Alright, so let's say you find the short. How do you reassemble this package? I don't. But if you were going to, you would have to have a donor board. You would have to, you know, like for example, if let's say I picked off this cap and that cleared the short, then I would put back what I've taken off, which so far I've taken off a handful of caps. I don't know what those caps do, so I'm kind of obligated to put them back, at least the big ones. If I take this chip off, though, you know, I probably can't take a chip off without compromising function, so I would have to get a donor board and take it off, reball it from the donor board, and put it back on here. Now, keep in mind, you can buy a Wi-Fi chip. So, the downside is that on the 6S, the Wi-Fi is keyed to the NAND. No, that's not like a terrible deal breaker. So what I would do instead would be I would buy the machine that would allow me to unpair the Wi-Fi from the NAND so that I could put on a new one. Or I would ask, hey, friends, who has one of those machines already? You know, can I get you guys to do that for me? Something like that. Oh no, my little wire that I had broke off. Boo! There's the little nub of it. I wonder if it's enough for me to still touch. Let's see. Let's see if it is. It would be fun just to know what voltage this line is. So that I could know if injecting 3 volts into this line is that bad. Actually, let's see. If I swap out my multimeter probes, let's see if they'll fit in my DC power so that I can have a really precise way of delivering this voltage. Oh, that's not going to fit. Boo! And now those are stuck together. I wonder if I had the other kind of probes, I could clip these clips on them and use these probes. I can try doing that. Alright, I'm doing a little janky thing. Too bad the camera's not working, because it's kind of cool to see. Alright, so now I did this, where I've got a tiny little probe. And I need to put that on there. And this, does that work? Does it work? Seems to work, yay. Alright, so let's get back to the freeze spray. Freeze that city down. Alright, let's make it so that you guys can see. Alright, here's our goal. Oh shit. Waste of freeze spray with more technical difficulties. Race to freeze spray. Technical difficulties. Alright, now we have to test again. Does this work? Okay. Alright. Look at that. Ding! The very corner of this chip is what's getting hot. Man, it's really seems like it should have been that cap that was right there. It was right where the heat is. Alright, so now our question of where does it get hot is it gets hot right here let's just check and make sure that we didn't make a mechanical short when taking out those caps. So let's just make sure that we don't have like that pad touching ground. So I'm going to kind of just use an iron and puff up those pads just to make sure that we don't have like a little bit of a pad touching ground. Just because it's such a great explanation for it to have been that cap, but it's not. But it's wrong. It's too bad great ideas and great explanations of things are just sometimes just wrong. Such a drag. Total downer. All right. Let's see. Did we have a mechanical short there? I'm going to dig at the multimeter. Jessa, does the machine that unbinds it work directly with a Y chip? No idea. Never looked into it. This is generally not the kind of thing that we fix or care about because we do primarily data recovery. And you don't need Wi-Fi to work for data recovery. So this is a new thing for us, which is considering extending what we are willing to work on and discover new problems. It is kind of the time of year where the new phone from last year is off warranty. And so it's time to explore and learn and do new things. All right, so we still have our short. So what I'm gonna do is rather than say C hot is short, C hot take off hot, that's gotta be where the short is. Rather than do that, I'm gonna say, let's guess that if we knew what was under here and we knew what all those lines were for, things like that. Jess, are you gonna pull off the Wi-Fi so they can still use the phone without Wi-Fi? Nope, just gonna throw it away. I mean, this is $20 equals don't care. Jessa looks like JR. What? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna like kind of in one swoop just windshield wiper this whole area so that we can just kind of really quickly just rule out that it's anything except for this chip, because I don't really feel like digging this whole thing out and expecting it to be the chip. Yeah, $20 worth of fun, worth of exploration. All right, so let's start windshield wipering. So we're gonna go after these chips here. You're going to see the beautiful green streets of the city of Wi-Fi. That's a weird dude. All right, let's make sure we still have our short and that it wasn't whatever that weird dude was. All right. Do we still have a short? All right. Yup. All right, next chip. I'm looking to see, flux bubbling. Remember, this whole thing is a chip sitting on a bunch of pads that are kind of the bottom of the Wi-Fi chip. So my goal would be, I'd like to take off these dudes just to know who was short without simultaneously like bridging everything else together so I can't get an answer. That's pretty hard to do. So I'm trying to manage that by when I see vigorous flux kind of boiling, that's like a second before solder melts. Hey, cool, look at that. That's a little double layered dude. Alright, let's see, is it still short? Oh, multimeter went to sleep again. 6S Wi-Fi chip is short. Yes, it is. So not that. Let's keep going. We're gonna find out why is the Wi-Fi chip short. Why? Wi-Fi, why? That thing looked broken. I wonder if it was him. Was it you, pal? Well, was it? Was it you? Nope. Alright, so I've taken enough stuff off in that area that I am ready to go for the larger chip in here. Let's see if we can dig it out. That's big. Look how big it is. Oh my. That's a whole lot of chip. That's a whole lot of chip. That is a whole lot of chip. A big old chip. Now that chip's got a chip. Okay, let's take that chip off. But first, let's make sure that we still have a short there. Let's see. Yep. All right, so to get him off, let's see if we can dig up an IC remover tool, which I might have to go steal from Mark. IC remover tool, which is something that is soon to be available on iPad Rehab Supply. I'm gonna go grab Mark's. I think he took mine. IC remover tool. Jess is doing the hard work for us to have the easy solution. That is true. And what do I get in return? You guys need to go buy all my supply stuff, because when we do things where we say, hey look, you can just take this one cap off and it solves the problem, then that means people don't send us stuff anymore and we have to do $20 jobs. And that's a little hard for the 17 beautiful children of iPad Rehab Company. So, let's see. Let's see if we can get this sucker off. Alright. I look on this video and I can get better ideas in my hobby. Yeah, if you appreciate these videos, then show it. You know, we want for everybody to be fixing things. We want for there to be, you know, more board repair. When I wrote my court case stuff, I was very proud of the independent repair industry as a whole. You know, there's a lot of stupid shit that goes on, but the working together and how we really do know so much about these devices just from doing shit like this, that it's really remarkable compared to what we should know or what people might think that we've found out. And it was really fun to be able to kind of tell the story, the history of how we have kind of come to know what we know. So if you all right, Wi-Fi chip short is gone. All right, so it was too tough to get that one chip separated off of the Wi-Fi chip itself. But it's pretty cool though, isn't it? Look, here's the Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi circuit board, really. The bottom of the Wi-Fi circuit board. And here's all the little chips that go on it. Did you know that the Wi-Fi chip itself is a big old circuit board? Still want to know where the short was, but it's gonna be gone now. It's gonna be gone now. All right. So for this one, you could put another Wi-Fi chip on it, and I haven't done that before. So I would guess that you can take the NAND off which is straightforward. You know, this NAND isn't that big of a deal. And put it in a programmer. Tell the NAND, hey, forget about that Wi-Fi chip. He's gone. He's gone. Ain't never coming back. And then you could put a new Wi-Fi chip on there, and that would be fine. But tell me, Wi-Fi chip, why did you go bad? First question, was the short under the Wi-Fi chip itself all along? Let's see. Was it just under the Wi-Fi chip? Some kind of... I think it's unlikely because a drop seems like it would damage like a cap rather than anything else. But let's see. All right, so we should not get a beep across these guys. And we do. All right, let me get that little wire out of there. I still want to know, where did you go wrong, Wi-Fi? What turned you bad? So that next time we can look right there. All right, so he's still short. So we know this is ground. And that line is still short. So I still kind of want to get that chip off. Let's see. How can we hold it down in a way that we can pry on that? All right, now we can really crank it. Let's see if we can hold it in this fine fixed board holder and crank on it. Get Lewis to buy some. He doesn't have any kids. Yeah, exactly. Yes. There's numbers on that one. I wonder if it can be identified. Yeah, let's have somebody look this up. Good to know. The new cumulus of the cumulus of the Wi-Fi. This stuff I would expect is probably already known. Did I just clean the numbers off of it? You know, folks that do tear down like chip works, that X-ray chips, and they really like to figure all this stuff out. So this is probably not super novel information. But inside the Wi-Fi chip is a... Let's get that. Let's try to make it so that we can. Somebody could take a screenshot and actually read these numbers and go look it up. Let's see who he is. Broadcom BCM 4350 M5 KW B9G, and then under it says TD 1549, I think. P34. All right, but still, I want to know, was the short that chip? And where did he go? Way down there. All right, let's still see if it's possible to separate that chip off of here. What's going on right now? Oh, weird messing around. Staying up late past bedtime, messing around for no good reason. Pretty much the deal. Cool. Chips are universally cool looking though, aren't they? It's hard to tell if that's like a piece of the chip or that's the actual pads. Alright, that's pretty cool. Paul Daniels is going to start undercutting my $20. Sunday's going to wig out if she starts getting a bunch of people calling. Oh, I was hoping you could fix for about $20. I might get banned from YouTube by Sunday. Move that back over. No, don't fly away. Actually, while that corner of the chip is off, let's see if we still have a short. Remember how the heat was right there in that now missing corner? Let's see. Is that actually where the short was? Still short. Not surprised. $17 iPad rehab kids got to split the $20 profit. Yeah, $1 for each kid. And then $3 left for all the adults that work here to split. Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Chip off the old chip. That is a cool looking chip. Wow, look at that. That is a weird looking chip. Look how skinny and tiny the little pads are, little balls or whatever they are. That looks like, that totally looks like something in Star Wars. Let's make the light darker. That is cool. Star Wars. Alright, let's find out. Where was that short? Was it... Was it under here? That is very weird. Weird stuff. That's an exotic chip. Yes, it is. Wi-Fi 802.11 AC client. Quite sure you can't get that one easy. Star Trek. Yes. It is really cool, though. As far as I'll have to say, of all the chips in the iPhone, this is my favorite BGA footprint. I mean, it's really different than every other chip. Be a fun little trivia question for iPhone fixers. Somebody go post it in an intro group and say, what chip? You know, people do that all the time. Like, hey, do you recognize this? You know, obvious looking, iPhone 6 backlight thing. You should go post in intro group. What iPhone chip is this? What is this the footprint for? Okay. All right. Now let's see. Please, bro, someone rehat my Wi-Fi. All right. Yeah, it is time to turn on the fume extractor. I can definitely tell. Do you sell a stencil for that? So you'll have to get a stencil for this, I see, from Jason Gann or somebody else. Nope. But that would be, what if we had found the short, and then we were like, okay, our plan is that we're just going to take the one from the donor board. We're going to reball it. We're going to get a stencil. I'm sure one of the stencils we have will work fine. Well, that's really weird with the way the light... we're just going to reball this with the tiny little close-spaced balls. With weird variegated pitch everywhere. All right. Do we still have a short? Nope. Short's cleared. Short was in the Wi-Fi brain of the Wi-Fi chip. So that is it for this one, pretty much. All right, let's. It's satisfying in any event, I would say. Satisfying to hear the silence. You hear that? After so many beeping, beep on ground, short is gone. That is very satisfying. The chip is now ready. I just need to do a little rebuilding. Just do a little rebuild there. Get it all back together. Let's see though, if our original phone turns on. Maybe we'll just send it back. We'll send it back to these guys and tell them that we upgraded them to a super secure phone that does not have Wi-Fi. So maybe they could sell it to one of those schizophrenic people. All right, so there we go. We'll leave that there. We'll stick back on the camera. That's a little dark. Hold on. Let's make that work for a minute while we plug in our board and see if it works now. Let's see. Function. Exposure. Make that be plus, 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 plus. All right, there we go. See if it can handle that. All right. Camera back. All right. So that was fun. So this board, in theory, if not sold as a schizophrenic upgrade, which I think is a great idea, let's go ahead and stick it in a housing and see if it will actually boot without the Wi-Fi present at all. So if this was an iPhone 6, then you just get another Wi-Fi chip, stick it on there, it'd be fine. 6S, you have to go watch videos of people that do this more than I do and figure out how do you unbind the Wi-Fi from the NAND in the 6S. And then do it. And the point of this video, though, is that you can, a lot of times, if you find a hot Wi-Fi in the 6S. And this one wasn't super hot because the heat wasn't even really in the Wi-Fi chip. The heat was out at that coil. So we've seen a lot of times that people can find in the Wi-Fi chip itself just the idea that was kind of the point of this video. The idea that the Wi-Fi chip itself is a city, a circuit board, a little circuit board with all kinds of dudes on it. And that you can, all right, let's see, will it boot? Let's prompt it. And that you can treat it like a circuit board, which means you gotta be careful with heat. All right, let's see. All right, let's see if it'll boot. Let's see if it'll boot off a battery then instead of DC power supply. All right, here we go. Green screen. Oh, look at how I have the captain tape holding the home button on there. All right, let's see if this thing will boot. So don't be afraid of the Wi-Fi, the big bad Wi-Fi. It can, a lot of times you could absolutely get lucky and find, just like we did, you find the shorted line, figure out what else is on the line, and then look for, like it would have been a great story if it had been that one cap that we found at the edge. That like totally feels like it should have been it. It was very, very classic presentation, but it's super fun to find stuff like that. All right, so this phone is booted and it has touch. And let's just see what it says for Wi-Fi right now. Let's see if it blows up in my hand when I even ask it to think about Wi-Fi. Let's see what happens. No SIM card installed. Yes, I'm aware. Let's see if it's just going to wig out. Kind of wigged out. I'm trying to go to settings, and it's just like, what? What does a 6S do when it used to have Wi-Fi and now it does not? It's not hot anymore. Problem solved. It was sent in for being hot, and it is no longer hot. This is interesting, though. When I hit settings, let's just see what happens if I hit, you know, notepad. Well, I won't be able to get out of that. All right, settings. I want it to do like general about. So this is blank. It's blank to me just like it's blank to you. It says no sim at the top. And when I go to hit settings, it just is like, what? Wi-Fi isn't talking to us. And then it just goes out. That's kind of interesting. So settings, it thinks about it. It does not produce the general about in all of the settings. It just goes, what? I would guess that if you tried to restore this phone, it might restore, but it probably wouldn't activate. I think that it checks for Wi-Fi during activation. So there you go. Wi-Fi will probably work better. Grayed out. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It does not give you any kind of options. Allow weather to access your location. Yes, use Wi-Fi. Go ahead. Are you going to blow up? Yes, let's see. What is the weather? Up. All right, we're going to be done because the camera has decided to take a shit. And time for bed. Wow, I had one, Jessa. 6 Plus. It was just grayed out. All right. It was also short. Great. Did you find a bad cap and get lucky? Or did you have to spend hours and hours tearing it apart just to find it was the actual chip? Alrighty. We're done.